Executive Council to move and accelerate our cooperation with Jubilee. And I saw my friend Nick Salat saying anybody coming in must join the queue. We have no problem. We have no problem in joining the queue. We are Kenyans. We must live and take tea together. So we are all talking. And so there's no controversy. Neither is there competition at this particular time.
First, he said that his party was entering into a coalition with Jubilee Party. Then he also revealed that he had a secret pact with Raila Odinga to support his bid in 2022. Difficult to figure out Kalonzo's strategy, or is this his trademark tutapitia katikati yao?
Allow me to say that looking at it from the streets, from the rumor mills, and using a bit of intellect that God gave me, the question would be this simple. When Kalonzo chose to support Honorable Raila Odinga's bid, could it have been for the joy of being a deputy president? He had been a vice president, Kibaki's vice president. Could it have been a joy? There must have been a quid pro quo. I support you, you become president, and then you support me, I become president. If you do not become president, then you support me. Now, last time, Honorable Raila Odinga said he had a last bullet. He fired the bullet, it went in the forest. Now he's speaking the Maganda. He's cocking it back and saying, I still have another bullet. And Kalonzo is saying, no, we agreed. This agreement, you don't have to look deep into books or agreement. Even President Uhuru and the deputy president, they had it. They had where yangu kumi, yako kumi. If the president jumps along the way, you just says, I have changed my mind. Honorable Raila should also just say, we have changed our mind. But denying that there was no pact, even what Dr. William says about shortage of fools would come in, I think there was a pact. For the 2 times they have run together, there must have been their race and agreement. Otherwise, Kalonzo is not a fool. He's not just a fellow who you say, come be my running mate, then he comes yapping. There must have been, I support you, become president, 10 years, myself, 5 years, and I remember Honorable President, even 5 years. So even now, you should just go and tell Honorable Kalonzo, my brother, the journey is still long. Age is on your side. Mine is going. I seem to be having some bullet I picked somewhere. President Uhuru gave me one more bullet. Allow me to fire it with me. Then, but denying is wrong. Secondly, when it comes to Kalonzo's strategy, he's a man I trusted his judgment. But I have seen that he always gets the timing wrong because of trying to be too clever. Honorable Raila seems to be getting it right because he's bold. He says, if I die, I die. If I succeed, I succeed. If it is dumb, it is dumb. When you find yourself between a rock and a hard place, you must choose whether you're going to hit the rock or the hard place. Here, he had sworn never to join Jubilee. Never. Now he's coming, and he's not coming in boldly. He should have come in boldly and say, here, now I'm coming in and I'm the next presidential candidate. Let us be the one telling him, no, you know. He doesn't have to react to outsiders like Nick Salat.
His intention to quit NASA should wipe legislators who are holding positions in the National Assembly and Senate relinquish these positions, which are courtesy of NASA membership.
NASA was an umbrella that they were using to threaten the whole world. Otherwise, NASA is a hoax. Raila jumped out from it when he went to swear himself in, and they announced officially that NASA is over. So they have been using it. You see, Kalonzo, Wetangula, NASA out, Musalia Mudavadi out. So these are the people. Most of them were wiper senators and MPs. It continues to go on. That should not be a point of worry. What is the worry is just, after all, we have a year and a few months. We are looking forward. If you are looking backwards, we will say, no, we don't even want by-elections now. Even now that Reggae has paused, we are now looking at elections.
Umuhimu wa biashara ndogo ndogo. Hii biashara ndogo ndogo ndio inabeba wa Kenya mamilioni. Pale ndio watu wengi wanapata riziki. Na mimi nataka niwaambie
officers wa serikali wahakikishe ya kwamba wale wanafanya biashara ndogo ndogo pia maslahi yao, haki zao za kufanya biashara zilindwe vile tunalinda biashara ya wale wanauza bank, wale wako na hisa katika stock exchange, wale wanafanya biashara zile zingine zote. Every hustle matters.
Every hustle counts, says the DP, as he even did some Matatu Bebabeba last week. What did you make of his style of connecting with the so-called ordinary Mwananchi?
You see the way he's talking very eloquently. And here, he is talking like an outsider. He's talking like when I was in the streets.
Yes.
You know me, I can demand security. But who do I demand it from? President Uhuru and William Samoei Ruto. Now, if he is also talking that these people should be protected by who? By Wiper or by Mudavadi. So you can see he is already talking as an outsider. Yet he is an insider. He is the deputy president. He's the one who should be saying the way he used to say.
Yes.
To Metenga, we are doing this. We have set this apart. We are going to protect. Now they should do it. I don't know who is this talking about. Parliament is still there. So what he's doing is he has mutated the way people like Oparanya have mutated to be hosting meetings. It is a lot cheaper, much better, and still very effective. I've done politics and I know that the cream leaders, you call them and then you mesmerize them with your allergies at home. Then they say, wow, hey, have you seen his house? Have you seen his family? And then your wife or your children, they come and kneel and greet them. Say, oh, those are very humble people. Me, I was touched. I'm telling you, I remember when I was young, going to Form 2, I was taken to the late Dr. Robert Ouko's home. Then he put me in his library. Then he came and we had tea together.
Oh.
He is still in my heart today. Just those antiques. Now, the deputy president has been given a chance to continue those antiques. Even President Uhuru, one of the things why President Uhuru is very charming, he'll rant and throw tantrums. But when you meet him one-on-one, he is very charming, very nice. He will hug you and even carry you. When you leave, you say, it is these people and the president who are bad. President, very good. Now, that is what I know the deputy president is doing. And being also a generous man. You know, these others are very stingy. Raila is stingy. And Kalonzo is stingy. Mudavadi is stingy, Gideon is stingy, and then they have gone near President Uhuru, who was very generous. Now they have taught him stinginess. So it is Honorable William who remains generous, like Moi. When generous people call you for tea, you even if you are going to pay down, you abandon that. You go there first. So people are lining up to meet him. He has adopted a new strategy. Unless the president comes and says, during this corona, to control the spread of corona, homes will not entertain more than 10 people.
Ugly week this has been at the county assembly and in the ongoing war between the governor and the Nairobi Metropolitan Service.
The governor has reached the end of the tether. The Metropolitan Service has no legal basis, no legal existence, but has purported to usurp the powers of the Nairobi City County government through the deed of transfer.
In the unlikely event that probably our good governor was maybe out of his senses, maybe he was intoxicated, or perhaps he was visited by Madimoni, maybe that influenced his decision, then there is a clause in the same document that we signed. Just like a marriage, you have an exit clause.
At Evolution CS, Eugene Wamalwa there says there is an exit clause for the governor in the deed of transfer of functions. The governor Sonko wants to pull out of the deal, not because he was visited by Madimoni, but he says he was given a lot of liquor at State House before he signed the deal. Can he back out of the deal now?
Let me tell my governor, Nairobi County, the deal is your salvation. You need the deal more than any other person, more than President Uhuru needs it, more than Eugene Wamalwa or people like Weda. You get out of the deal, you will be Waititunized. quickly. You know what I mean? Why tonight? Remember, the plan is this. You are charged in a court of law. Your office is declared a crime scene area, so you can't go there. You are basically exercising no functions. You can mutate by having a few files brought to you to sign because they continue. Then what happens? If you are too much, what happens? You are tonight. You will be impeached. And then after the impeachment, the Senate will ratify it. That has happened, it will continue to happen. Especially as a governor who has performed so dismally, has turned Nairobi into a laughing stock, a big joke. And then these people are not foolish. The president said, see Wajinga, the deputy president says, shortage of something. Very quickly, the Nairobi Metropolitan whatever has received resources to carpet the roads and organize it. What is the strategy? Win the hearts of the Nairobians.
But meanwhile, whether the war between the governor and the NMS has extended to the county assembly, and the speaker Beatrice Elachi is now facing another impeachment vote with pro and anti-Sonko MCAs. Concentrate on his cases.
He is a failure from the onset, and he should be aware that is a failure. NMS would have not come if he was performing. Sonko has all along been pretending to be launching even projects and programs, of which none of them he has done. By tomorrow, we are going to start the impeachment motion about Sonko, because he has let us down. We have got nothing to do with him. He should allow Major Generali to continue serving the people of Nairobi.
Despite being back in office courtesy of court orders, the speaker does not obey any court order.
Anafikiria hii ni nyumba yake, sisi ni watoto yake, sisi tumechaguliwa. We are not ready to work and
Whether we all watch the police descend on the county assembly with tear gas and excessive physical force against the MCAs, there are scenes that remind us of the worst days of the conjurers during the Nairobi City Council. Nothing really changes in the running of this city.
Yeah, we have just selected the wrong guys. But I think my big sister, Senator, Speaker Elachi. Speaker Elachi is Speaker courtesy of President Uhuru. Not because he was popular with the conjurers and all the MCAs and all of them. But he should also adopt ability to relate. There was a speaker in Nairobi called, just forgotten his name, should have written a book for these others to read. For the 5 years he was speaker, there was no case. This MC, they also want to eat. When the speaker closes all the tabs, because there's a court order, she'll always face problems. But Sonko, on the other hand, it is just about Honorable Raila and Honorable the President Uhuru saying, remove Sonko. Last time it was the President who protected him from being removed by the same MCAs. The same MCAs. Now there is a battle for the soul of Nairobi. What is the battle of the soul? Win the hearts of Nairobians. Today, if you ask quite a number of Nairobians, do you want Sonko to continue leading or you want this general thing? They tell you, what we have seen, let's try with the general.
Yes.
He seems not to be eating. So, if Sonko pushes us to the wall, he will join YT. That is guaranteed. The president is very clear about it. I'm not saying I've spoken to the president. I can see the body language. I can see the work going on. I love the way the Nairobi. Sometimes even the Bible says, even if you are hungry and poor, please wash your face and apply some oil. We may be suffering under corona, but we are going to make sure the Nairobi streets, they look clean, though disheartened. Clean.
As usual, we have some legal issues of interest this week. High Court Justice Mumbi Ngugi ruled that the NYS scandal suspects who had bought up luxurious property will have them surrendered to Assets Recovery Agency. Is that a practical way of dealing with corruption, going after the proceeds of the crime and forfeiting it to the state?
Definitely, definitely. That is within the law. What would have been, they should have proved. You know, it is as simple as this, my great lady. If you find yourself with a mansion, big one in Runda, half acre, either you tell us, yes, I married Weda, and out of love, he bequeathed to me this title. Here it is. It used to be Weda's, and you can see. And you can see these are our photos at the beach with Canon.
Or even Sharia house.
Oh, yes. That is one. Or this is from my grandparents. Or my chicken business has been prospering during Corona. And this is how I've been receiving. There is no wealth which has no roots other than the wealth from corruption. It's only corruption. Otherwise, everything else God created to grow. So these people whose salaries are 150,000, 200, how do you explain this? And the law is, if you can't explain it and some money has been lost, surely you ask yourself, circumstantial evidence. So what do? You forfeit them. They'll go through they go to the Court of Appeal. From the Court of Appeal, if they lose, maybe a matter of public interest, they then go to the Supreme Court, and a decision is made. But most of them, we are talking about money lost in NYS.
Yes.
We are talking about unusual wealth, which cannot be backed by productivity and value. Then you are able to say, we can see where the money is lost. Surely sometimes, adults, you don't meet people committing adults. You don't see them and photograph them. But you had one and one. NY's money is lost. Okay? You are in a position of responsibility. It is reflected in your wealth. But you have no explanation for the unusual avalanche of money. It must have been the money which is lost.
There has been drama playing out over the 38 billion shillings medical kit contract, officially known as the Managed Equipment Service, a project to lease equipment to counties signed in 2015. The buck has been passed between ex-Health CS Dr. Cleopa Mailu and former Attorney General Githu Muigai.
Was a pre-contract between the government of Kenya and several vendors. Then they will go back and negotiate the final contract. After they finish negotiating them, they will send them to me for review. If we understand that,
did you ever receive them for review?
That is exactly where we agree that they never complied with that. And that now is a question that you put to them.
I remember clearly how many times those contracts I asked them for, and those contracts were asked by the parliament. Indeed, the word were secret document. I wondered as a minister, what is in this contract which was not to be revealed to the minister and to a committee?
The ex-AG says his advice was not followed, and the CS in charge of the ministry at the time, Dr. Mailu, says the documents were top secret. He was not allowed to see them. These revelations leave us with questions. How many times is legal advice from AG to Government of Kenya ignored, and how much information should a CS access about contracts in their docket?
How many times have you been advised and you have ignored that advice? Even from people you respect, even from people who pay your bills, even your employer.
I pay my bills, Weda.
But I think it's KBC that pays your bills too.
Yes.
Yes. But how many times have they advised you, Julie, please always come on time. The advice from the Attorney General is regularly ignored because Attorney General is not advising at an atmosphere of law. He's advising in a political environment. Sometimes politics dictate that you follow. For instance, when you are talking about handshake, you are told, can you legalize handshake? You can't say our constitution does not allow you to do this handshake with so and so. So quite a number of times. Now when you hear the minister saying that some documents are top secret, in other words, I can only say there were some people who are eating. They designed it to eat. And people who are not willing to eat together with them were excluded in the process. That's very normal in those scenarios. And when you now see these contracts, you can see that a little bit was eaten. People ate kidogo.